It's your boy, Sir Splash. Say you're gonna beat Splash, put it on the Bible. Whole game's trash, boy. Put it on a cycle. Money talks, money talk. Really, I don't understand. Said he wants smoke, but they all do the running man. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Sir Splash, and today this is hopefully a quick video on a topic I'm oftentimes asked about in a way, and feel like I might as well address it. So this is basically my viewpoint and stance in regards to the versus community slash power scaling community. Now, obviously, due to my content and the videos I make, clearly I'm a part of this community, but you know, I'm not too proud to admit it's pretty toxic. It's toxic as shit. So what do I think of the other versus battles creators? There's some, actually, I'm gonna be honest, I don't necessarily know how many good versus battle creators there are out there. There's some that have good topics. I would say about 50-50 Danko will make a good topic. Seth, the programmer, my buddy Seth, usually has pretty good topics. So does Swag Kage, even, you know, well, I'll get into the other aspects later. Chuck has good battles. I have good battles, personally, I think. So there are people out there that address commonplace matchups and interesting matchups that you're like, okay, that's a cool topic. But then we run into the issue of the research side of things and the lack of research or lack of understanding of the material. This mostly we see with Danko. You know, my issue with Danko mainly is he doesn't update any of his information. All of his material he produces is already made and copy and pasted. So like, people think I'm on his dick. Like I'm a fanboy that's like secretly self-projecting. That's not the case. A lot of times I don't see his videos, and it just has to come in via request that I debunk it. The reason I don't watch his videos is because he copies and pastes his audio for characters. So you're listening to the same thing over and over again. And I don't like that. Even if you're presenting a character you've presented before, your information should either be updated or just presented in a different light to be interesting. Like, as a creator, it should be more interesting. So that's why, even though I've used characters before, I always present them differently because it's more fun. And a lot of times I update the information because scaling changes. The more you understand concepts, the more you understand mathematics, the science behind it, the comics themselves, or whatever material you're reading from, the more you have to evolve what you present. So that, like, for instance, I have a Hulk vs. Doomsday debunk, my biggest video probably on my channel, and I made it a while ago. A lot of that information's outdated. So if I were to redo it or do it now, a lot of things have changed. I still keep it up because, you know, I think it represented what a lot of above average comic readers believe. I would definitely say even back then I was above average as far as power scaling and versus battles and whatnot. Way better now, but so that's my stance on, you know, content created. There are some that do good matchups, but a lot of them are lacking in research. I heard Animation Rewind is really bad about research. I've heard this from my buddy Chuck before. I've heard this from several people. I don't watch Animation Rewind shit. I can't remember the last time I've seen an Animation Rewind video, so I don't really debunk his channel. But I heard his research team is pretty shitty. So, and the people that tell me this, you know, are pretty consistent with what they view as bad. So like, I know what else they think is bad and I agree. So I tend to kind of side with them. I'm pretty sure they are bad Animation Rewind as far as matchups. So there's that. Death Battle, say what you want about Death Battle, but they were pioneers in the community as far as creating versus battles versus matchups. So no matter what, you can't take that away from them. Like, they were the ones to make it big on YouTube to make versus battles. That's them. So you can't take that away no matter what. However, let me kind of put it in a simple analogy. Basketball. Bob Cousy was a pioneer in basketball, one of the first good point guards, played in the 50s, you know, he was a beast for his time. However, he would get obliterated these days. The players these days are way more athletic, way more skilled than his time. Back then, he could only dribble with one hand, wasn't a great shooter, wasn't athletic, he was small. He would get dominated by any decent guard these days, simply because back then, you know, research wasn't out for athletics as far as, you know, boosting their training. The athletic ability has actually progressed. People have gotten literally bigger over generations, like physically have grown on average. So, and back then it was segregated. It wasn't many black players playing. So he wasn't having the talent pool to face off with that he would these days. So that's how you kind of got to compare Death Battle. Like, they might have been pioneers, but they're just not very good at it. Their animations are usually fun. They have a good animation team. It's just the research they put behind it and the material they provide is pretty bad. It's gotten worse. And what makes it worse is that they have a team of researchers. So when your whole team sucks, it looks bad. Like, I don't have researchers. I do my own thing. And when I have more research done than an actual professional team, that's an issue for me, especially when you're a company. So that's my take on Death Battle, my official take. Another issue within the versus battle power scaling community is people take this stuff way too personal. The biggest example I could give you is when I was, you know, doing these Star Wars power scaling and versus battles. I was making my name well known in the Star Wars versus battle and content creating community as far as sorry, I had a big ass yawn, but as far as being like prominent and good at what I do, I was making a name for myself. You know, I was calling people out. I was like, dude, I'll debate anyone on Star Wars. I don't give a damn. Like, I think I'm the best. And scaled one character, Darth Kaitis, one of my favorite characters. Scaled him like no one else has scaled him. And as a result, because people weren't beating me on the topic, some Comic Vine goons, and they also came from another site. I forgot what site it was. It's one of the other forums. Anyways, they decided they were going to plot on catfishing me and then trying to frame me as like a pedophile or as like someone that I don't know. Their plan sucked. They weren't good at they did actually later on send someone to try to catfish me, and the way I called them out was hilarious. You know, I showed my Discord and they thought it was fucking hilarious. But it's sad. Like, they're gonna dox me too. That was their big goal: catfish me and dox me. And that was all. Like, I just want you to think about this for a second. That was all over me power scaling a Star Wars character. It got that personal for them because they couldn't like beat me on the topic. They disagreed with me heavily on the topic, but couldn't necessarily disprove it. So as a result, their reaction to a fictional power scaling dispute was, let's catfish and dox him and try to ruin his life. That's fucking stupid. People don't do that in real life. You wouldn't do that in real life. You wouldn't, that's it's like arguing with someone over like your favorite movie and then you try to stab them over it. It's like, no one does that shit in real life. Why are you doing this on the internet? You know, internet creates kind of a cognitive dissonance that really shows in the versus battle and debate community. It's really annoying. And then like in general with debating, the reason I've kind of chilled out with debating is people take it so damn personal when you debate. I do get annoyed sometimes when I debate, and it's usually because the person I'm arguing with is coming off as stupid or ignorant. They either don't want to read the material I'm providing for my case, or they just don't want to adhere to reason at all. They're being very fallacious. They're accusing me of being fallacious incorrectly. That stuff does annoy me, but I don't take it personal. At the end of debates, I say, hey, thank you for debating me. Thank you for coming on and talking to me about this. Like, I respect. Usually you get, here comes a yawn. Usually you'll get respect from me for showing up, you know, and fighting the battle. But, you know, a lot of people afterwards are like, fuck Splash. Splash is a piece of shit for beating me in a debate, or how he debates, he's such a dick. Or they'll say I'm a liar. I'm not a liar. Usually I'll say, hey, I'm going uphill in this debate. And it's the job of the other person to prove my side wrong. It's to prove their side is superior. Wolverine versus Ultra Instinct Goku. I don't think Wolverine like consistently beats Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. But I've won the debate. God, I can't stop yawning. I've won that debate multiple times and posted videos on it. It's not I'm not out here to throw a debate, especially an uphill debate. I'm not going to be like, hey, let me go ahead and debunk my arguments for you. No, it's not my job. My job is to try to win my side. If you let me get away with some suspect power scaling, that's on you. Like, I've debated people before on material I had no clue about, like a Toho or whatever. I debunked it on the spot because I read through their material they were presenting and said, hey, this does not make sense. This does not add up to what you are trying to tell me. You can do that. So, you know, the excuse of, oh, you only get away with it because they don't know what you're talking about. It's not a valid excuse, because if you ask for the evidence and you ask for the correct amount and correct type of evidence, for instance, context behind a scan, you can debunk stuff. So that's not that hard. So yeah, I do uphill debates. I'm not being a liar. It's just not my job to lose the debate. It's my job to try to win and try to see what I can push. Lawyers do it all the time. They push cases they have no business winning. You know, there's this saying, I'm in school for political science. You know, I've heard the phrase, it's like, if you have the law on your side, pound it. If you have, you know, reason and logic on your side, paraphrasing obviously, but pound it. If you have neither, pound the table. Basically, like, distract them from everything else. Like, that's how it works. You're trying to win. So, you know, I use certain tactics that I usually get away with. For example, highballing, lowballing, all that shit to win debates. And I use rhetoric. So it's like, God, holy shit, I can't stop yawning. As you can tell, it's been a long week. I got exams, but, and work. But yeah, this was just like my take on the versus battle community, power scaling community. I do think it's very toxic. People need to stop taking shit so personal. You know, you can be as dumb as you want with your scaling. You could say like Superman's planetary. I don't give a shit, honestly. If you're cool about it, you know, we just disagree. I feel like I presented my side better than yours most of the time. That's just how it is, but I'm not going to take it personal if you still believe your stance. The only time it gets annoying is when, like, people will go out of their way to slander me, or, you know, slander people in my community, call them splash tards because they believe one thing that they disagree with. That's stupid, guys. Like, grow up. Like, it's not personal. It's fictional scaling. And, you know, the difference between me and a lot of people that take this shit so serious is I do get paid for it. Like, people pay me for research. I'm monetized now. So, like, yeah, I do take it serious. And I have the right to, since, like, technically I'm a professional. So, like, I can take it serious. Meanwhile, you're sitting on your ass yelling on people for 12 hours on Discord and get nothing for it, nothing to show for it. So yeah, there's that. But anyways, let me know what you think about the versus battle power scaling community. If you agree with my viewpoints on the community, and, like, if you understand where I'm coming from. If you disagree, if you think I'm a complete piece of shit or I'm completely wrong about everything, you can comment that down below too. It's whatever. Join my Discord if you would like to come talk to me about these subjects, or talk to me about Star Wars, comics, anything. I don't really mind. If you would like to debate me on some of this stuff, if you completely disagree, sure. You can join my Discord. We can talk about planning a debate. Join my Patreon if you like to support my channel. There's several ways you could support my channel. I'd really appreciate it if y'all check it out. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment. It's been your boy, Sir Splash, and I will see y'all later. Peace.